I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't expect Canelo or no other athlete to come out and say, yes, I took it. I tried to get over on the system. I tried to cheat on my opponent. I don't expect you to come out and say that. Check your self-righteous monitor. I think everybody needs to do that. Nobody's going to come out and say that. Because there's millions at stake. There's the Golden Boy franchise and the Canelo franchise and the Oscar De La Hoya franchise. They all look a little shaky, but they're still at stake. I don't expect you to come out and say that. Even if they had high trace amounts of the clenbuterol found in Canelo, I wouldn't expect them to do that. But this Q&A session, the sanctioning bodies didn't force them to do this. I'm sure that the Nevada State Athletic Commission didn't force them to do this. I'm sure nobody forced them to do this. It's just blatant damage control. Totally shameless. Well, if my case can help another clean athlete prevent what I'm going through, it will be worth it. Oh, such the sacrificial victim, really. They had a lawyer in there all suited and booted. And then they had the doctor who had some long title of how important he was in Mexican sports. This is a terrible problem in Mexico with the meat. And he said, the press overlook this problem unless it's an intoxication and somebody ends up in hospital sick really badly. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'd love to do a study to see how many of them people were rich, though, eating that contaminated meat. How many rich people, in comparison to poor, are getting fucked up on this contaminated meat problem they have in Mexico? I bet you any money there ain't too many people as rich as Canelo or Oscar or Eric Gomez who are getting fucked up on that meat. Trust me. In Mexico. But yeah, Eric Morales, I'm sure he made a good living by the time he was fighting Danny Garcia when he got popped. I'm sure he could afford not to eat it. I'm sure Canelo could afford not to eat it. But you both popped dirty and said it was the meat. Let's keep it real. It's normally poor people who come up short when there's bad products on the shelf, contaminated products. It's normally poor people where the products are probably cheaply farmed and produced. It's just how that is. But all of a sudden, these rich athletes, you're all popping dirty for eating some fucked up cuts of meat, because they must be fucked up. Where you buy that from? They just got that stuff in it. There's a lot of financial hardship in Mexico. I know there is. But I bet you any money I could go there if you gave me the budget, and I'd find clenbuterol-free meat all day if I paid for it. If I was prepared to pay for it, I'd find it. And Oscar and Golden Boy, loads of people get busted. You're the only one who holds a Q&A to do damage control on it. Now, we don't know if he took it or not, but the facts are you have 2 dirty tests, not 1, 2. But take your L. You'll be back in August to fight, and you'll be clearing big checks. Take your L. What's the matter with these people? I wonder if they buttered up the press with free food and drink and smiles. A couple of hookers and hotels or whatever to get them to spin it a little. So Oscar and Canelo will look good. You know, eventually they'll start spinning it. Not straight away, but they'll start working the spin machine back in their favor. They'll probably be able to run for the presidency of Mexico soon, both of them. If they can get a couple of scumbags from the press to start spinning the narrative away from what it really is, that you're a dirty athlete. Simple as. What about the other boxers who can't afford to hold press conferences and all the shit like that and walk straight back into multi-million purses? Maybe that should be the penalty. Maybe that's what the penalty should be. Not jail, but if you're a big earner, if you negotiate anything over $1 million, you can keep the $1 million and divide it amongst who you got to divide it, your trainer and whatnot, but everything else goes to charity. Everything else goes to charity. So if you negotiate a $5 million purse, you could keep $1 million. The rest you can't keep. You know, because he gets to walk straight back in to a big fight, while other fighters often have to start at a way more preliminary level before they can get back in the game after getting busted. I think that's the solution. Like, I'm talking for the rest of his career. He can't earn over $1 million purse again. That's that. There should be a cap on dirty boxers. There's no real deterrent for someone like Canelo, even if he gets busted, not to take something. Because the financial incentives for someone like Canelo are massive. He's still going to earn multi-million-dollar purses by August. By August. His suspension starts from when they caught him. That's when his suspension starts. By August, he's back in the ring. This ain't costing him shit. But I wonder how much enthusiasm he'd have about making a comeback when you're just getting a minimum mil. But there's no real way to enforce that. There's no real way to enforce that. But I can't see no other way in terms of a deterrent if you get busted for these athletes. I can't see any other way. Forget rich boxers. It should be all boxers, even poor boxers, yeah? 25% cap of your earnings for now if you want to keep boxing. If you're going to endanger other boxers' lives and bring the sport into ill repute. What kind of crap is this? That's the problem with boxing. If this was Premier League soccer, the footballer's agent would advise against this type of thing. Damage control. Press conference. Q&A session. With some dumb, we didn't know expressions on their faces. Really? Because you came up dirty. You came up dirty because you came up dirty. The doctor said that this is a big, big problem in Mexico. Well, if it's a big, big problem in Mexico, you would have probably had the heads up before you got busted. Yeah? Or before you even ingested the meat. Eric Morales is one of the most high-profile cases of someone getting busted. What did he get busted for? Or should I say, what was his alibi? It was contaminated meat that he ate in Mexico. Please. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, the problem with PEDs in boxing is that people could die at the hands of other people's fists after they've cheated. Yeah, I get that. But I'll be honest with you. I'm not even too bothered that he took it. What bothers me is this press conference and Q&A thing. That bothers me. It's very cynical. It's very political. You think you can come in there with your guy, an Oscar in suits, and you're a lawyer, and spin your way out of it. So basically, any big franchise boxer who gets busted, clean or not, just hold a press conference. Hold a press conference, a Q&A session, and bring a lawyer there, a doctor, people of high and good social standing, in a suit. And you can do some damage control as well. No, take your L. Take your L. So basically, they're trying to give off the impression there's nothing to hide. But even there, they've got the lawyer there saying, well, you can only ask certain questions. I'm assuming the lawyer is insisting on censorship for legal reasons. Well, if that's the case, why hold the Q&A? You're trying to control the environment and spin it, yeah? This guy is probably the highest paid athlete in the sport alongside maybe Anthony Joshua. Yeah, there should be tough questions asked. Of course there should be. The WBC came out, oh, well, we can't say he's guilty. We can't say he's negligible, I'm paraphrasing, for ingesting the dodgy meat. Was it the other sanctioning body? What did they say? Oh, this actually adds spice to the fight that he got caught. Wow, so you're promoters as well as sanctioning bodies. This is just madness. Just pure madness.